Oh, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in to wrap it up. Everything, as usual, with every episode is a little bit different today. I am in New York City by my lonesome. Justin and Jordan, for that matter, when he's filling in, didn't make the trip with me. So I'm going to take you through everything a little bit different today myself, just popping everything up. You're not going to get to hear a great debate about what we like and what we don't, but I'll give you some throwouts. And I've got some videos I want you to take a look at here. I went on the streets of New York today trying to find out what it is that the people of New York think about NASCAR. And let's just say the results speak for themselves in a way. Welcome to Wrap It Up, boys and girls. I'm so happy to see you. We're going to go through every paint scheme for Dover coming up here in just a moment. But first, I want to show you some footage of what I did today here in New York City. I went out on the street and I tried to talk to some people, talk to some fans, and see if there are any fans in New York City and what it was exactly people think about NASCAR, and just maybe if I could find anyone who knew anything. So, take a look. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I've made it to New York City. I'm going to talk to some folks on the street today and see what's going on, see what the people of New York know about NASCAR and what they don't know, see if they've got any opinions to share or anything. Hopefully I don't get stabbed. We'll see how that works out. Just your thoughts on NASCAR. Do you like NASCAR?
I don't even know how to spell NASCAR. It seems crazy.
Bill?
Yeah. All together.
I used to like a lot more,
Yeah.
but now it seems like it's gotten so commercialized.
Right, well, you know, it's cars with billboards on them, so there's a lot of commercials. I'm with you.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot. What do you think would make it better?
We'll do a little more rubbing.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of. Do you have a favorite driver you used to pull for or anything?
Jimmy Johnson.
Jim Johnson. Can I ask you about NASCAR? Do you have any thoughts about auto racing? Thoughts on NASCAR racing?
I don't really know much.
Anything about NASCAR?
Don't know nothing. Never seen a race ever.
No.
Okay.
Cars, right?
That's it. You got the majority of it. Thank you, sir. Ricky Rudd's apartment. Anybody know her? As y'all are walking by, can I ask your thoughts on NASCAR racing?
I'm good, thank
Do you have any thoughts on NASCAR racing? No. A lot of people non-responsive. A lot of people that no, thank you. You know, people are very polite, though. You know, I learned in the '80s, New York is a dirty, dirty place, and everybody's rude and got switchblades. But it does not appear to be the situation today. Still yet, though, a lack of understanding and knowledge from all angles, as Jimmy Johnson's the only driver's name I've heard today. So I'm going to give it a few more goes here and press my luck a little bit, see what happens. Oh, sorry. Y'all know anything about NASCAR racing? Auto racing cars? All right. Real commercials, real shows. Is there anybody in New York City that will speak to me about race cars of any kind? No one, except people from North Carolina that I've met so far, seem to know what's going on. So I'll take anything. Just if anybody even knows Jeff Gordon's name. He has an apartment here. I mean, pays taxes. He's part of the community. They already know who he is. Folks, can I ask your opinion about NASCAR? You have a favorite driver, folks? Y'all don't speak English, do you? NASCAR? Does anybody know where Jeff Gordon's apartment is?
Yeah, we can't answer. Okay.
No problem.
Thank you for asking.
No problem. But does anyone know where Jeff Gordon's apartment is? Looking for Jeff Gordon. All right. So I was never able to locate Jeff Gordon's apartment or anyone apparently from the state of New York who understood or had any information about NASCAR whatsoever. So that's not good. But what is good is last week's race. Me and Justin were down in Talladega, got a little bit of footage. We got there late, had our own problems. Going in, we had a nail in the tire and got in late. Race ran a little bit later into the dark, so we didn't get to see as many folks as we wanted to be able to come up and see, but we did collect a little bit of footage, just a little bit of what was going on at Talladega, and we'll take a look at that in the next stage. just to throw it out there because we didn't get enough. But let's get into these paint schemes I've been telling you that we're going to do all day. And I could not be happier for last week's winner, of course. My man, Kyle Busch, pulls off a Talladega win. I've got to tell you, going down to Talladega, I did not see this coming. Kyle won there his first year at JGR, switching over from Hendrick. And, you know, I've said every episode, and I think most people realize this year there's a lot of that same energy going on with Kyle that there was when he left Hendrick on maybe not his choosing to do so, and the same thing from JGR. So he won 8 races that next year, first year at JGR, and maybe he can pull that off again here at RCR and give them a real boost. People say he stole that one, but listen, if you're up in the front at Talladega, you know, you've got just as much a shot as anybody else. Coming in second place, another one of my favorites, Ryan Blaney, running this Wabash scheme. I like this. Very un-Penske scheme. You know, Penske's got those same things. They like to run the spikes, the Menards layout. This one's a little bit different. I'm digging it, most definitely. Third place finisher, the 17, got a top 5. Listen, me and Justin are on the way in. We're listening to Channel 90 on XM. And one of the garage guys comes on. I'm a fan. And he had some good picks. One thing that stuck out to me and Justin, though, is he did not like the bet on the 17. And I was like, hey, man, I don't know if I can dig that. I was feeling the 17. So, you know, I felt a little validated. Maybe I got something right. I'm not saying I'm the man to go with on bets. Definitely not. The garage guys know a whole lot more about that. But I was happy to see the 17 got a good finish. RFK's definitely on the way up, 100%. Speaking of a team that needs a good finish, Stewart Haas Racing coming in 4th in the 14. Stewart Haas has not had the year or last season. They haven't had the generation of car that anybody thought they would. And it's not looking hot so far this year. Now, Martinsville, they come out with a super awesome engine package. They're kicking butt, but they couldn't get it closed. Another close one here, top 5 for the 14. I think we're going to see him in victory lane before the year's over. Coming in 5th, big boy Brad, coming in with them Wyndham paint scheme. Wyndham Rewards, man, they're cranking this out. They're all about it this year. They've been on the 6 car. They've been on the Jimmy's 48 car there for a lap. And then the 43 car, you know, also a Jimmy car.
You're the boss, Jimmy.
Because Jimmy's the boss. But Brad got a good finish. I thought Brad may have a shot at it. Honestly, I thought maybe if he got out front, he would. It would be like a Bubba situation where they weren't going to get around him. But it was what it was, and I'm sure he'd like to have another go at it. But a top 5 is nothing to sneeze at, considering how, you know, their program's been going. Going on to 6th, here's a program that needs a good run. The 43, back with this Allegiant paint scheme. It's cool and everything, but we talk about this almost every week because they've only had like 3 paint schemes run this year other than Allegiant. And the man who really owns the majority of the company owns Allegiant. So it's kind of like it's not sponsored. You know, I'm just saying they're definitely looked for an outside sponsor. And not having one on the car the majority of times, it's not a good look for Legacy right now. But I don't have any doubt that they'll get it straightened out. Jimmy Johnson's
You're the boss,
one of
Jimmy.
the all-time greats.
I'm the boss.
One of the all-time 7 championship, tied the most anyone in Winston Cup, Sprint Cup, Nextel Cup, Monster Energy Cup Series history have. So the man can get something done, and having that hook on with Richard Petty isn't going to hurt anything either. Going back to Hendrick, let's take a look here. We got the number 24 coming in. He had a good run, getting a top 10. He's going with the Raptor again. That's the primary. He dropped his Darlington scheme today. If you haven't seen that, a big Jeff Gordon throwback. Man, it's a good one, definitely. We'll take a look at it here in a couple weeks. Going to do one more here, and then we're going to take a break for the first stage. Coming in 8th place, the 20, who is now your points leader in the Cup Series. He's running the Ream scheme again, back-to-back weeks. Christopher Bale has got something going on. He's definitely, it's not just about being the big dog at Toyota now. It's about being the big dog in the Cup Series. This guy, once he busted open, he ain't slowed down. So he's going to be somebody to keep an eye on. I see more and more T-shirts and hats every single time we go to the race. Christopher Bell stuff. People are getting on that bandwagon. People know the man's on the come up. All right, folks, let's take a break here. Check out this commercial from White Blaze. Listen, if you are in the southwestern Virginian area or the northeastern Tennessee area, I break it down like that because if I say where we're from, we say Southwest Virginia, but it sounds like to somebody else the bottom of West Virginia. We're really the southwestern part of Virginia. Anyway, if you're in our region of Appalachia, give White Blaze a call. They will take you out somewhere and you will have an awesome trip. Check it out.
White Blaze Outdoor provides educational hiking tours, fly fishing trips, and shuttles. We're located in Abingdon, Virginia near the Appalachian Trail. If you are only looking for an afternoon hike to see wild horses or a full multi-night trip, we have what you need and know where you want to be. We are currently booking adventures in southwestern Virginia and northeast Tennessee. For more information, visit whiteblazeoutdoors.com or call 276-356-7068.
Folks, welcome back to Wrap It Up. We're going into stage 2 here, going through the whole field as we run them down. Let's get back into it. Coming in 9th last week, the number 99 car of Daniel Suarez is running the freeway insurance scheme that I dearly love. This time it's a little bit different this week. One of his co-owners, Pitbull, has joined the party, and he's making it festive. We've got this rendering of it here. This may be how it comes out. They may have this art style on it, but right now I'm not quite sure if it kind of looks blocked off like this, like the artwork, or if we're just looking at an effect until we see the real car. But for all you Pitbull fans, Mr. Worldwide is coming to Dover. So get ready for that. That's going to be big time energy. Oh, what a finish. 11th place. Almost a top 10, folks. Rick Ware Racing, J.J. Yaley, coming in 11th place. And I know what you're going to say. It's a plate track. Right, everybody wrecked, all these things. It's an 11th place finish. J.J. Yaley had a 3rd place qualifying at the Bristol Dirt. Listen, for what Rick Ware Racing is going through, and for what Rick Ware Racing is, possibly the lowest funded, mechanically able team in NASCAR, them or Spire possibly, I mean full-time teams. Great finish. JJ really showing him what it's done here. He stepped it up the last couple of weeks. He beat Chase Elliott coming in 12th place. Chase is going to run his normal Napa scheme next week. Chase on the heel, he's had some great runs coming back right around that top 10 area. Running that normal scheme. I guess the leg's not bothering him too bad. Everybody's predicting he's going to win before he doesn't. Oh, but right behind him, number 13 in the finishing book, the number 48 on the track, Alex Bowman. Well, Alex Bowman now, like Chase Elliott before, has injured himself and hurt a vertebrae in his back, so he is not going to run for the next 3 to 4 weeks. So Josh Berry is going to climb into the 48 car now. Josh Berry, as you know, drove the 9 car while Chase Elliott was out with a fractured leg from snowboarding. So Josh Berry's going to wind up with some major time in these cars. He may wind up being, the 5th Hendricks driver with as many, races run for the whole entire season by the time this is over. We can get William Byron hurt and and Kyle Larson a little bit, and he can maybe take, a fourth of the season in each car, and they can just split it up. He's definitely not going to be able to run for Rookie of the Year any other time if he does get a full-time Cup ride with this many races getting under his belt. But hey,
Ty Dillon.
Ty Dillon. Yes, Ty Dillon, top 15. He didn't originally have a top 15, but there was a little miscommunication in the order of how the finishes was, and NASCAR went back and reviewed those. Ty got bumped up a little bit. Top 15 finish for him. I thought, and I said last week, I told Justin, I said this is an opportunity for a top 15, maybe even a top 10 for Ty, and that may be the best thing the 77 car can do. And he pulled that off. And Justin didn't believe he even had the car for that. But, that's the way racing goes. There's wrecks, you can always say. There's different things, but the finishing order says the man got the top 15. So, great job for Ty. Listen, Ty's down in 33rd in points. he has ran all 10 races. He is still 2 positions in the points behind Chase Elliott, who has only ran 4 races. Ty has 81 points at this moment, as for Chase that has 120 in 4 races compared to Ty's 10. It's Cody Ware's just behind him in points, right? And he's only ran 7 races. So it's a crazy situation. I mean, he's still beating the 78 car, though, the 78 of all full-time drivers. But BJ McCloy's only having 7 races, so that breaks up the 78 driver number. So anyway, so I guess the last place full-time, full points driver is Ty Dillon still. So that tells you how bad his finishes have been. Hopefully they get better like this. They have some consistency for the 70-17 would be a big thing. Speaking of people who need some consistency and some good points and usually maybe have a good shot at a super run, here's the 47. He gave it all he had for a little while. He got out there a little bit and he got knocked around, beat up pretty bad, and limping home by the time it was all said and done. He's coming in with icy hot from Kroger's this week. He may need some icy hot. You know, he likes to tap into things every once in a while. Recky Spinhouse, they call him. Let's move on to finisher number 16 in the order. We have got the 45 car with a new look. Of course, we know McDonald's is a sponsor of 2311 Racing. Have been on the 45 car before, been on the 23 car even this week. And this week, though, where they're doing McDonald's on the 23, 45 has the Ronald McDonald House. I like this. I think this is a good cause. My grandmother got to use the Ronald McDonald House when something happened to my aunt once, and it was a great asset to my family. It's a great thing to support, to help some people out. So looks good. I think he'll have a good finish in that car too. Coming in 17th, Big Denny Ham. I think Denny went in with some big thoughts of this was going to be something he could pull off, because Denny's one of the best at this, but the race just never materialized for him. He got to the front at one point, but everything just got a little loopy there. Back to 17th. Definitely not the finish he was hoping for, I can guarantee that. He's running FedEx again, so at least he's got some of his sponsors going on. 18th finisher last week, the 78 car, top 20. Hey, not bad. He's got a new sponsor this week, J. King. Yeah, it's kind of like a local scheme. Like, you know, there's graphics, there's words, but they kind of look basic. You know, you can kind of tell, like, did somebody really get out some really good graphic designing things, or somebody just, you know, like, hey, we're going to use square, and what does it say? That's kind of the vibes I get from this. And I'll be honest with you, I know they've got an art department that could pull it off, because the 78 cars had some hot schemes this year. So the fact that they fell down to this is probably more a request from the sponsor themselves or something, probably, because I feel like their designer knows what he's doing. All right, let's take one more, and then we'll cut a stage here and get to the middle of the show. 31 car, still running the Leaf filtering system here, which is owned by his team owner. But just like last week, they're promoting the autism awareness, another great thing. I like the colors in it. There used to be a couple different drivers that were always doing that, especially at Dover, would get that a lot. So I'm glad to see somebody's carrying that on. All right, we're going to come back. We're going to have the second half of the field after this, see what everybody's driving. Hang with us.
White Blaze Outdoor provides educational hiking tours, fly fishing trips, and shuttles. We're located in Abingdon, Virginia, near the Appalachian Trail. If you are only looking for an afternoon hike to see wild horses or a full multi-night trip, we have what you need and know where you want to be. We are currently booking adventures in southwestern Virginia and northeast Tennessee. For more information, visit whiteblazeoutdoors.com or call 276-356-7068.
And we're back, stage 3, baby. Oh, I gotta watch myself here. I'm in a hotel room. I don't want to get too rowdy. When I'm back in the studio, I can let loose a little bit more here, but I don't want to bother the fine folks of New York City while they're trying to do whatever it is they do during this time of day. Let's get back to the cars and see what's going on. Listen, we had coming in 20th place last week, Riley Herbst driving the 15 car, got a top 20. Not bad, give him that. Better than a lot of other people. So But this time, of course, Riley's not running. They just have him on the super speedways. But Brandon Poole's making a return to the Cup Series. First time this year. Pretty positive. Coming in with that Millennium. Ooh, Millennium. It's got the whole world on it. That's pretty big. That baby blue. See how he does. Listen, Rick Ware's in an interesting place with the whole problems of son Cody, and now they're kind of flipping through some different guys to see who's going to fit for them, I think. And listen, Brandon Poole can drive a car. He fell prey to that terrible solar sponsorship collapse at Ganassi. He was going to run full-time for Xfinity Championship in a Ganassi car, and maybe have a really good run at it. That car was running well, and at the last moment, the whole sponsorship thing fell through, and of course, the entire company, turns out, fell through, and was a whole thing, and that really just hurt Brendan's career. That derailed that whole season for him, and since then, it's been hard to put together full seasons, and especially in really good equipment. So 15's not really good equipment, but maybe you can get a good finish out of it. Coming in 21st last week, we got the number 4 car. Ooh, this real tree before. Remember, it was black. Now it's got the green on it. I like it even better. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. This is my wrap of the week. This is hot. I'm not even a Harvick fan, but I'm digging this car. It's got such big energy. I just take it away from me. I can't look at it. It's too hot. I'll sit here all night. 22nd, his teammate, number 10, Eric Almirola. Eric was leading the race at one point. I really thought Eric had a shot. He was running up front. He was in third a lot. Didn't work out for him, but he was a contender definitely at the track. They knew he was there. 23rd, coming in number 1 in your hearts. The Melon Man himself is back in America's Jockey Underwear USA car with the blue reflective, which is extremely hot. I'm not going to lie. Chastain pulled a pretty crazy move trying to duck into a hole. I'm not going to say I fault him, but if he's a professional race car driver, maybe he shouldn't have done it. It was definitely something I would do on the video game, but I don't know if I would go any further than that. And right behind Chastain, number 7 car. This is where these Talladega races, these Daytona races, that's where he goes with the idea, or Atlanta. Man, I really have a shot to pull off something here and get a quality finish. So 25th was not what he wanted in his car. But listen, new sponsor for him here. This sponsor's been with the team for a while, but new sponsor for this year, I should say. He ran this himself last year. The Order of the Eagle. It's cool, different. I like the color scheme. It's good. I don't know what Corey's going to have for Dover. This is a different kind of track. I don't know if it's going to be his thing or his team's thing, I should say. So 25th may be better than what he can pull this week, but you never know who's going to show up with what when it comes to NASCAR from week to week with this car nowadays. Coming in 26th place, we've got the number 2, and he's running the Great Stuff car this week for his Menards hood. I like the Great Stuff car. Great Stuff is great stuff. If you haven't used Great Stuff, I highly suggest getting some Great Stuff. It is great. You got to fill up something. You put it in there, it'll fill it up, and then it's just full of foam. That's a great thing for whatever you need filling with foam. Take advantage. 27th place, the 19 car. I didn't, other than the being tore all to crap, that's his major problem. I really thought maybe he was going to have a better run. He's spending Johnny's money again this week. He's spending it every week. Listen, this Bass Pro on the 19, off the top of my head, other than Hendrick Cars, of course, because Rick has so much money. Hendrick. It's the most we're seeing a paint scheme with a car. Definitely. Johnny is all about keeping Martin in that car, or keeping him paid up. So he's going to run this club all day long, it looks like. Bubba coming in with the other McDonald's scheme. Again, going with the gray with the red hood. Bubba's switched back and forth a couple times, and I don't know. This one's weird to me. Not that I hate it. It's just I think the red hood's a bad choice with the gray car. I like the gray car. I just don't. Red Hood, it's not my thing, baby. Not my thing. Oh, 29th place. A.J. Allmendinger. Dinger gave it all he had. But man, Colleague has just fell off so hard this year from what they were doing last year. I don't know what happened. And Dinger has just not had any kind of decent finish of what I imagined him coming out of the year with. I really thought maybe he'd have a win by now. I really did. But speaking of people, who have, great careers, lots of wins, not getting good finishes, here's champion Joey Logano back in 30th. Man, all the way back, he's going to run Pennzoil again. Going to get that yellow out there so you can see it run around Dover. I think Joey's going to have a better weekend than he did last weekend. All right, folks, listen, let's take one more break. Y'all check out this message from my friends at White Blaze Outdoors, and we will be back with the final stage of Wrap It Up.
White Blaze Outdoor provides educational hiking tours, fly fishing trips, and shuttles. We're located in Abingdon, Virginia near the Appalachian Trail. If you are only looking for an afternoon hike to see wild horses or a full multi-night trip, we have what you need and know where you want to be. We are currently booking adventures in southwestern Virginia and northeast Tennessee. For more information, visit whiteblazeoutdoors.com or call 276-356-7068.
Oh, folks, we're coming back. Final stage of Wrap It Up, the show where we look at paint schemes for the upcoming race. We're checking out everything going into Dover race number 1 of 23 and talking about where they finished on Dega last week. Listen, we were down in Dega. We got a flat tire on the way down. Well, we got a screw in it. We had to make some stops. It was a whole thing. So we ran out of time. We didn't get to meet up with some people we wanted to meet up with. We didn't get much footage, so we didn't have a whole episode of us at the track like we do for Bristol. But we got a little bit of things here, so we'll take a look at this quick video before we check out the rest of these paint schemes.
Folks, we're here at Talladega. We've experienced a little trouble on the way down, but we have made it. We're going to watch some awesome racing, then we're going to get out and take a look, see if we can find a few folks that want to win some prizes. Potatoes today that you've told us the last 2 weeks again.
Free! Free all potatoes! Free all fat!
Pit road disaster.
Number 2 after the big crash over in turn numbers 1 and 2.
We're out here, race just ended. We're taking a look around and see Digger's on the spot. We're camping out with him, Captain America, all these guys.
Lawrenceville, Illinois.
Lawrenceville, okay. Don't know Lawrence, but I'm sure he started a nice town. All right, we're going to ask you some questions since you're the only person we can find here in the middle of the night in the campground and see what you know about Talladega. All right, so you say you've been to a couple races here?
This is only my third one.
Okay, that's more than a lot of people, so you're ahead of the game. You watch NASCAR regularly?
No.
No, okay. It's going to be hard then. It's going to be very hard. But maybe just, some common sense stuff. Think about people who are big, and maybe this will work.
We'll do our best.
Okay. Who has the most wins in the Cup Series at this track at Talladega? Big time driver, pretty well known, I would imagine.
I don't know.
What's the most famous NASCAR driver you could think of?
The only one I root for, Kevin Harvick.
Oh, no. No, I'm sorry. It was a guy he took the place of, or it's a Dale Earnhardt. You ever heard of Dale Earnhardt? He's a guy. There's a couple of them. There's an old one and a new one. They made another one.
There's two of them.
You got to make a sequel when something's so good, right?
There's two of
Okay.
them.
Current driver now has multiple wins at Talladega. He just now earned that.
I'm not saying his name.
Who shall not be named. You will not name him for. You got to say his name if you want to win.
No, I don't want to.
It's y'all.
All right, so maybe in the fall we head back to Dega. Maybe next year. We'll see. Hopefully we'll get to see some of you and hang out and have a little more fun than we did this year. We'll get there a little bit earlier, hopefully. All right, folks. So coming in 31st last week, number 54 car, which was up front. He and Bubba were running strong for a very long time, partnering up. Got in an accident, falls back. This week he's running the He Gets Us scheme. He Gets Us was the big push marketing campaign for Jesus, for Christianity, that kicked off during the Super Bowl. And they've been on this car a couple different times, so they're going again this week. Flat black, I guess that's the way Ty likes it. He's a lot of flat black. You know. Coming in after him, the 42 car, man, had that Wendy's car running strong. I really thought dude had a shot to pull the win, and I think he did too. But that's the way these things go. Going back to the Sunsetter Resort again, this is just like the 42 up there. He didn't have a sponsor this week, so it's kind of like, is they doing okay or are they not doing okay? I don't know. Every time I keep seeing these repeated sponsors, they're paying the bills. But again, it's coming out of the owner's pocket, and to me, that's something you don't see team owners wanting to do, except for this man. This man wants to pay the bills. Other people want to pay the bills, and Big Rick says, no. My name will be on the car, because Big Rick's making much more money than he would accepting somebody else's money for advertising. Apparently the NASCAR advertising works, according to Rick, so much so that he is sponsoring other teams' cars with some of his companies. So bravo to he. Coming in 34th, we got the number 41. How about the 41 and 5 being right there together, having problems again after the Bristol dirt thing? You saw in our little Talladega video, some people were very upset about it. They felt like the 41 was at fault, and a lady in front of us was very passionate that she must see Ryan Preece and Kyle Larson fight with their hands or claws and other things. It was a whole ordeal. She talked about it quite a bit for quite a while. Not at anybody necessarily, more just towards the track very loudly. But you saw some of her there. Got a new scheme. Hey, running blue. He's always in red and black, right? A little something different for the 41. Let's see how he does. Coming in 35th, the number 34 this week has got the A&W on it. Ooh. Listen, here's another example of a car owner having a stake in this, because just like we talked about when he ran the Long John Silvers, my understanding is the owner of Front Row also has some franchises with A&W. So maybe he's fulfilling some contract obligations, possibly for so much advertising he's responsible for by putting it onto his car. You know, that's a good way to make some things happen for your own business there, and cut some corners and keep your own race team running while you're promoting your own business. It's just good business, good marketing strategy. McDowell did not have the finish he wanted. McDowell immediately decided to spin out. Was it lap 2, I think? Or I started to say lap 1, but it had to be another one. So lap 2, he did the exact same spins that he did like at Bristol, and he held them off. He goes around, he pulls it out and takes off and keeps going. He had to pit immediately, and he was down the whole race, but he stayed out there and he ran. He beat 3 cars for it. He probably wishes he just went ahead and parked her. Coming in 36th, the 21 car, another one that thought he was going to have a good day at the start of the race, and it didn't turn out to work out for him, did it? Back with the Dex paint scheme this week. Again, love this paint scheme. It's a nice one. Going back now, 37th in the 38 car. The 38 car last week, of course, is driven by Zane Smith, who is primarily in the truck series for Front Row Motorsports. Now, Zane announced at the start of the year would take Todd Gilliland, the son of David Gilliland's car, over for a handful, 5 or 6 races, and then Todd just wouldn't get to drive. Well, then they found a race for Todd in the 15, and then they've decided to put him in the 36 for the rest of it, and we saw Todd up there earlier. Todd actually finished in the 36 car, which is not running this week, in 10th. He got a top 10 last week. Todd's on a string of right there at the top 10, being in top 10. Todd's tearing it up. So this whole Zane Smith thing ain't looking very good for them, taking away Todd's number and making him run other numbers. He's getting some good finishes. But this is going to be Todd's paint scheme this week, because he's back to his own car in the 38, if that's confusing enough for you. So even though this wasn't his finish last week, his car finished there. So this is what he's going to drive, the Speedy Cash, for the second time this year. Coming in 38th, we've got your boy, the number 3, Austin DeLong, the Monopoly man himself. He's driving that bio car again. You know, maybe this is just a bad picture. Sometimes I've seen it where I like it, and then sometimes I don't. It's kind of flat. I don't know. Austin did not have the run you would think an RCR car would have, or he at Talladega at all. So he's only got up to go this week. And that does it, folks. That takes us through the entire car field that we're going to see run this week. Folks, if you would, just write down in the comments, who do you think's going to win the race? Name them. If you pick the winner, we will send you a prize. I don't have the prize with me in New York City, but it's the same thing we had last week because nobody won. Go back and watch last week's episode. You can see the 3 autographs that were given away. Jimmy Spencer, Kurt Busch, and Martin Truex Jr. Those are the 3 that are up right now. And the next person to pick the right race winner will receive those mailed to them. So all you got to do is tell me in the comments who's going to win the race. If you're the only one that picks it, you've won. If more than one person picks it, we'll random draw out of those people. It couldn't be simpler. Listen, we appreciate you taking the time to check out race cars with us. We love that you love race cars just as much as us. Please keep watching, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and hopefully we'll be around to keep looking at them with you. Y'all have a great week.